260 point. And welcome to a presentation video of H-cache shadows for URP. I'm gonna start with this test scene with 260 point lines, and every one of them casts shadows. That's well past what the URP is really meant to handle. Let's hit play. As you can see, this scene has with URP rendering 1300 or something like that shadow casters. And if we turn on H-cache shadows, as you can see, there are 0. Some update when we move, however, but they don't update all at once. They have a raster slice, like 48 shadow slots per frame. So for 260 lights, it's gonna be spread across more frames. You won't see any spikes. As you can see, I can walk around and the cache stays valid. It's key to the light, not the camera. So a lamp only re-renders when the lamp actually changes. Now let's talk about the URP hard ceiling of 256 shadow slots. A point light needs 6 of them, 1 per cube face, and the spotlight needs 1. So in this scene, my 260 point lights don't all fit. Around 42 do. That's a URP ceiling rather than anything this asset introduces, but you'll still run into it. So as you can see here, some shadows may flicker, but this happens the same if the asset is inactive because of this URP code trying to feed them into the shadow atlas because we are over the limit. Same will do for our asset. However, if you use the option cache once and then hold, as you can see, some of the pillars will not have the shadow. You see, like this one here, this one doesn't. This is only the sun shadow, not the shadow from this point light here. So for this to actually work, when you are over the limit, you have to use the periodic update. You see, I pressed enter and now the shadows update periodically after 1 second. And for this, you will still see the flickers, but as you can see, when you walk around, all the shadows will be rebuilt. See, they appear always. So to avoid this and only cache once, you must not go over the URP hard limit. However, it's okay to do. It's okay even to use periodic because this updating is still not every frame. It's like a fraction of the cost. Not even all the lights update in 1 frame, but we have a limit of 48 shadow slots per frame. So it will be spread across multiple frames and you will have no problem at all performance wise. So overall, the thing I want to point again, the frame rate will be more or less unchanged. That's because a refresh isn't done all at once. There's a budget and I've set it to 48 slices per frame. Basically, you're never paying for 260 lights in a frame. You're paying for much less than that. And now let's talk about the moving objects. As you can see, I'll unplay first. As you can see, for the dynamic objects, you have to put this component, dynamic shadow caster. You go back in the renderer and you tick this dynamic caster composing. And with this option on, as you can see, we get shadows from the additional lights and from the sun. And in the stats window, you can see that we are not rendering the whole atlas again. There is a big trick we are doing here. The way that works is there are 2 shadow atlases. One is in the cache, which holds the static world and never gets rebuilt. The other is a mirror of it with moving objects drawn on top. And that's the one the shader actually reads. The part that keeps it cheap is that the mirror isn't rebuilt either. Only the tiles I'm actually standing in get redrawn. So with 260 lights in a scene, me walking through it costs about 1 to 3 small tiles a frame. It does cost a little extra memory in VRAM, but the performance gain is incredible. So now let me show you actual numbers in a build. So this is a build with cached shadows turned off. As you can see, it is around 150 frames. And now I turn it on. The frame rate went to more than 500, and the looks are the same. So this is the cache once hold that I talked about. As you can see, most of the shadows look good, but there will be one missing here and there. Let's find it. As you can see, for example, for this light, because URP does squeeze one more. They downscale them and can squeeze them into the atlas. So for this, like I said, if we go over the limit, you do the periodic, and in periodic, that will not happen. And as you can see, the frame rate is like very similar between periodic and cache once, because it's far from the cost of rendering shadows every frame, and we are not even redrawing them all at once. It's spread across more frames. So as you can see, periodic, this is with inactive again, so 150 frames. Now it's active and periodic, it's 500 frames, and cache once hold, similar frame rate. So even if you were to use periodic, it's pretty much the same overhead, more or less. So we can do periodic and go in some places where I've noticed a lower frame rate. For example, here with the acetone, we have 252 frames, and with it off, we have still 150. So the gain is still massive. Now we activate it again. As you can see, 250 frames. And the looks are identical. When we use periodic and we are over the limit, the looks are identical. We get all the shadows. And this is pretty much an edge case. Most of the time you won't need spotlights for like pillars like I used here. You will get away with a spotlight instead of a point light, which costs 6 shadow slots. So no matter how much we spam this, you see there is no spike for the updating, and the performance gain is almost double. So that's H cache shadows. Cache shadow maps for URP working in forward plus, and deferred plus. This test case that I've shown here is in deferred plus. This demo scene is included in the package. This demo build is included, so you can test this for yourself. You can find the link in the asset store description. That's about it. Thank you for watching.